I will call this game for West Ham. I think they're going to bring Newcastle will go to that game on a high. Newcastle, most of their stuff revolves around St James Park and the atmosphere that's created there. They leverage that and they attack with reckless abandon. They're not going to play with that level of energy.
EPL big games of the weekend. We're going to look at the three games this weekend. They're going to really be very relevant in terms of how the club is going to shape up at the top end of it. Brighton is going to be at home to Liverpool, and West Ham is going to be at home to Newcastle. Of course, Arsenal will be playing City at the Emirates on Sunday.
Ouch.
And all these games are Sunday. This is a heavy Super Sunday, as they call it, this weekend in EPL. Very interesting games. A lot of these games are involved in Europe. So I don't know. We expect fatigue to this where big team factor comes in. How you're able to manage your squad to play midweek and play weekend comes in this aspect. And nobody knows you've been questioning Arteta's ability to manage his players, play Champions League and the league at the same time. The time has come for Arsenal to show that Newcastle know today they had a very spirited performance against PSG. Let's see, they're going to be able to recover and come back on Sunday and run West Ham down. So let's start with Brighton at home to Liverpool. Ubum, welcome to the show, brother. Good to see you. I know you're busy, but you always try to find time to drop by and give us your insightful views on these games and the performances. You are not able to join us for the Champions League preview that we had. We had about the English teams in the UCL. So I know Brighton is the team you have liking for. Of course, Liverpool, we know, looks like they are coming back to what they used to be. I don't know. Do you expect them to have a revenge? Revenge was last season. Brighton beat them in Liverpool, and of course we know what happened to Liverpool last weekend as well. They were robbed of their goal, which probably would have decided that game. Do you expect Liverpool to come in this weekend with a revenge spirit and try to get all 3 points, or does Brighton continue with their good start to the season and their reputation of always being a hard nut to crack for the top guns in the EPL?
This is going to be a very exciting game. You rightly said, that I like Brighton as a team, but I'm going to just put my head on the mantle to be destroyed by predicting a clear Liverpool win. The reason I say Liverpool, I call this game in favor of them because Liverpool is so much unlike Arsenal in certain ways, in the way that they attack. It's all attack. No, I'm sorry. Brighton is more like Arsenal in the way they play possession football and they attack. And Liverpool, if you're a possession-based team, Liverpool always has joy against possession teams that attack, very freely, the way Brighton does, the way Arsenal does, even Manchester City to an extent, right? You just attack, they soak as much as they soak, and once they hit you on the counter, they have the tools to destroy you. And I think they have way too many tools to really test Brighton. Brighton, especially their back line. Brighton, we have seen that they are not quite as experienced or as strong as they seem to be. On their day, they can beat any team, and they will beat any team very easily. But when you give them the same medicine that they are giving out to you, they crumble at the back a lot. Apart from Lewis Dunk, they don't really have any solid defenders that are tested enough to withstand the kind of firepower that Liverpool has. And then added to that, Liverpool are right now a very angry team, and deservedly so. They were really robbed last weekend by Tottenham and VAR and PGMOL. And so they are not in the mood for any stuff, right? Rather than just going out there and doing the business and trying to get their way. So, it's going to be a very, very interesting game to watch. But I think that Liverpool are going to come out victors in that game.
Yeah, so Funsho, do you agree with Ugum, or how do you see this one panning out?
It's a very, very tough game. And like you said, this type of game shows you when you have two teams that need a win so bad. Brighton's coming off a loss, a bit embarrassing loss, right? I think. And Liverpool's come from a very devastating one.
Yeah.
Two match up that is going to be a very beautiful match to watch.
Yeah, Brighton is sixth on the table. Liverpool is fourth.
6th and 4th. Liverpool is a more experienced team. I like to tip them to win this game. Brighton is beatable when you want to beat them. And Liverpool is a team that if they're match winners, if they want to really win, if they lose, it's going to come down to a very tiny, tiny bit of margin. So I don't see Liverpool dropping 2 games down. The only problem is they have a red card, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to be missing some players.
Yeah, 2 players.
They have 2 red cards.
And Thiago Jota. But those are players they have options for, though, because Klopp has been... Okay, then another thing is that, what's his name? Codigapo got injured in that game as well, and probably will be out for a little bit.
Yes, so we can say that both teams, because of the injury playing a role in red cards and discipline. And Liverpool, the only problem with Liverpool is discipline. Like we discussed in our previous show, is Premier League this season is easy to get a yellow card. Then the next tackle you're sent off. As the referee want to make a statement, because every day people are calling them out. They want to make a statement because they have the whistle and they have the power. So Liverpool need to be very disciplined to finish this game with 11 players. They don't know how to do that. Virgil van Dijk is not who he used to be anymore. They have a lot of players that they're not who they are. Nunes was on bench. He's probably going to start the next game. We'll see. He's a very good striker. And I think also you look at Brighton, there's like to sell. They find a good player that's playing so well. Next year it's gone. When you have a team that runs like that, that consistency is not there. People are playing to get sold off to another team. So the longevity of how good, we don't even know how good Brighton is really, because their roster can change at any time. So with that said, I'm leaning towards Liverpool. However, it's going to be an interesting game. Mitoma is going to be a player that's going to give Liverpool a lot of problem from the wing. That young scorer Ferguson, how many goals has he even scored this season? He's been
way up there.
I think he has
he's way up there.
Goals. I think he has
5 goals already this season. And that guy is going to be a big problem for Liverpool. And Liverpool is the type of team, and once you score them, they start blaming the referee. They start, and the club start getting restless. The teams get derailed from that. I think it comes down to who scores first. Go ahead. You want to enter? Go ahead.
Sorry, Funsho, just a couple of things occurred to me while you were talking. If you don't mind me chipping in 1 or 2 things.
Please, go ahead.
Yeah, you just talked about Mitoma. I just read today that he's just signed a new contract with Brighton for another 4 years. And guess what? Guess how much they're paying this guy with the new contract?
How much are they paying?
70,000. Hey, 70,000 pounds. I'm like, are you kidding me? Well, that's the way Brighton runs, though. This is just preparing
for sale, because the guy has been doing well this season. I don't know how these players, if the players actually get percentage from the sign-on fees, that makes them, because look at Caicedo. Caicedo said that he was going to leave. But we know that after January transfer window closed, he signed a new deal.
Mitoma should be earning. Mitoma is a 150,000 pounds a week player, and they're paying him 70 with a new contract. That's crazy. And then the second point I wanted to make is I noticed this stuff about discipline at Liverpool. It's just the EPL is such a strange league, especially when it has to do with things happen in streaks. once something starts happening to you,
I was about to
it
say
seems to
it.
happen and happen and happen and happen.
Before it happened
Liverpool
to
are,
Arsenal one time.
yes, exactly. Liverpool, there's nothing wrong with Liverpool. They are not an indisciplined team. It's just that once once it starts happening, you see yourself getting yellow card, red card. It's like the referees probably had a meeting and said, "Oh, we're going to keep sending these guys off every game." Yeah.
Yes, for me, Brighton, I've always said it. I like the way they play football, but I don't trust them. But if there's one thing they are known for is getting result against the big teams, more or less playing from home. It's going to be difficult for me to tell you that Liverpool will win this game. Liverpool can win the game, of course, but Brighton, sometimes you don't know what you're going to get.
Oh man, Reggie, let's be honest, man. It's not going to be close. Brighton they're not deep. I mean, they sold most of their players. They're not deep. And they play tomorrow. They travel to Marseille in France. They play tomorrow for Europa, and they come back maybe probably Friday and then get it. It's probably 2-0. Liverpool is deep. There's no.
It's not about being deep. It's about 11 men on the pitch. Brighton right now are 6th on the table. They've only lost 2 games this season. They've won as much as Liverpool has won. I think Liverpool only have a draw and lost 1. So if you look at that and the quality of the game that they play, like Funsho just mentioned, Ferguson, he has scored 4 goals, I think 2 assists this season, and that young man is firing.
Who did they play? Who did they play? I don't have it off the top of my head. They were battered last weekend, 6-1. They're not deep.
That's a lack of consistency I'm talking about, but on a very good day.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But Reggie, he has a good point in the sense that this was what I was just thinking this evening. You see, entering Europe, if you haven't been in Europe for a few seasons and you get back into Europe, Europa, Champions League most especially, it's like marriage. Yeah. You don't know what you're going to see. They can prepare you, or maybe the loss of a loved one. They can prepare you and you hear that, but when it happens to you, you will understand that it's not easy to play midweek. Brighton, and the same thing is happening to Arsenal. Arsenal have been out of the Champions League for a long time. Now we see what Champions League means. You want to get there, you will get there. And when you get there, to keep up playing at that level midweek and weekend, it's very difficult. It's not easy at all. And I think it's also affecting Brighton because if you see the way they suffered last week, remember they played the first Europa, the game before that. So I think it's a factor.
Yeah, of course. I mentioned it before at the beginning of the show that Champions League, of course, or midweek games affects any team that is playing them. But sometimes it also depends on your priority. I remember last season, sometimes some coaches prioritize the league. They don't care about the Europe competition, and they go out in the group stage, and they don't really care. It depends on the ambition of the club. So, but what I'm saying is, of course, Liverpool have all it takes to win that game and clean out. But my point is, Brighton is a team that most times you don't know what you're going to get. And they have the tools as well. So if they're only going to France, they can come back on the same Thursday. It's just an hour or 2 flight. They come back to England on Thursday night, rest on Friday. Saturday, the game is on Sunday, I think. So I'm not saying they're going to win, but
I guarantee that they're not going to win. Especially even I was reading earlier on, their left back is out. It's out. They don't have replacement for him. Wow. You know what I mean? So he's not going to play. There's no way. You see, when you play in Europe, you have to be deep. You can't sell your players. You saw the Kukureya, saw the Kaisode, saw the McAllister. So how are you going to win? Mope was playing there before.
Yeah, you guys are right. I think that's what made how Leicester found themselves in Championship now, because it's same experience, European experience. They couldn't keep up with the 2 competitions. They didn't win the Europa. then they couldn't stay in the league. Yeah,
Yeah.
You can stay in the league.
And
It's
that's and to add to that, you guys are right. Someone that mentioned that haven't been to Europe in a long time. Look at what happened to West Ham. They almost got relegated right after that.
yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
That's
They
right.
haven't been to
That's
Europe in a
right.
long time. They went. They beat them, man. They came back. They almost couldn't hang on even in
Yeah,
Premier League.
yeah. They
Yeah.
So they were lucky
almost
that they left Europa early that time. They're able to pick up. So yes, that and the experience of just
it's a big
they're a
factor.
small club playing in a big club level now. Unless if you want to be big, be big. You can't be small and
I know you said
and
the
big.
last time. Yeah, you can't keep
Yeah,
taking the money and not investing. That it happened to
and I
Ajax
invest in the
too.
team.
You know, Ajax kept selling and they became a feeder team in Europe.
This might be the season that they may play relegation, either this season or next season. Because what's going to happen is you're going to get burned out, injuries, and you don't have replacement, and you start losing.
Yeah, another thing, it depends on if their coach is not smart. At some point, you have to decide what to prioritize. Because if their position in the league is looking bad, then you might have to prioritize the league and forget about the Europa. But they go to
Europa
play well in the league this season so far before the competition started. Like I said, they have played 7 games. They've won 5, I think, and lost 2. So they're not doing badly so far. It depends on how they prioritize the competition. Then we'll move to West Ham at home to Newcastle. This is another game that is going to be very, very dogged. These are 2 teams that are very physical. They know how to structure a low block. I don't know, Newcastle going away from home, are they going to bask in the euphoria of the wins and the big wins and draws they have got recently to try to be expansive in this game? That would be, we'll need to see that one. Or will they continue with their pragmatic approach? And if they do that, this is what West Ham is known for. West Ham had a fantastic game last weekend and they cleaned out. So I don't know, how do you expect this one to pan out?
it's gonna be a tough game. We all know how West Ham they play. They sit back and try to play the counter and that's how it's gonna be. It's not gonna be easy for Newcastle. They have the squad to get points out of that game, but it's gonna be very difficult. I know how West Ham play, and playing at home, that's why they are very good at home. So it's gonna be difficult. They will put Antonio up there and try to muscle their way through and get 3 points. But I see that it might be a tie. It might be a tie. You're not going to see a lot of goals in this one.
Yeah, for me, I believe Newcastle will not lose, but I'm not going to say they will win. Funsho, do you have any stats or any thoughts on this one? Newcastle, West Ham, these are 2 teams that like to go physical. So they're on the board this weekend.
Yes, I think they match up very well. You look at them on the league table: West Ham 7, Newcastle 8.
Yeah,
8. So they really, really match up very well. However, I'll take Newcastle in this game. I think they're having a very successful run right now, and it's going to extend this season. It's very tough for me to go against West Ham because they're the team that actually have invested in the team, and they've become very solid, but they have not broken out to that elite team yet. I think Newcastle is ahead of them on that level. I mean, Newcastle beat Manchester City 1-0, right? Turn around and beat. We can say that game doesn't matter. Sheffield United 8-0. Burnley 2-0. I think they're on the road. Then they beat PSG. I think they're on the road. They're gonna get it done. The only difference is West Ham is at home. It's gonna be a difficult game. I think Isaac and Miguel Almiron, they're gonna show up again. I just think Antonio is not. How many goals has he had this season? He's not like that scorer to me that can put West Ham ahead. I'm tipping Isaac here to get the job done and Miguel Almiron to get done. I think they're going to eventually break down West Ham United. They're going to get a win away at West Ham.
What's your take on Newcastle West Ham?
I differ from my brother Funsho. I differ from Funsho. Newcastle are on such a high after the game they played today.
Yeah.
The way they beat PSG, I could see Van Born what's his name again? Their left back. The interview they had after the game, dancing and having fun, and they are so also very happy. West Ham will bring them back to earth. You know, West Ham are a very underrated team. You won't know. You just they're not easy. Let me just say that they're not easy to beat. They're a very difficult side to beat, especially if they come out to play and they are focused, right? Don't be surprised if West Ham beats Newcastle quite well. I believe the game is on Sunday or Saturday?
The Sunday, right? All these games are on
It's on
Sunday.
Sunday.
It's a Super Sunday this
Sunday.
weekend.
Yeah. I will call this game for West Ham. I think they're going to bring Newcastle will go to that game on a high. Newcastle, most of their stuff revolves around St. James Park and the atmosphere that's created there. They leverage that and they attack with reckless abandon. They're not going to play with that level of energy against West Ham, and West Ham are a very pragmatic team. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, West Ham, they appear to be pragmatic, but they have some very solid technicians in that team as well. In the presence of Paqueta. He combines very well with Susek and Ward-Prowse are coming with dead balls, both corner kicks. They are beginning to rack up goals from free kicks and corner kicks. So, like you guys have said, it's going to be a tough one to call. We'll get to prediction at the end of this. Our viewers are calling for predictions from us. I'm not a bet man, but I think we will need to listen to our viewers and give. So, you guys should prepare your thoughts on the predictions for this game. So let's round up these big games with Arsenal playing at home to City on Sunday at the Emirates. These two teams have had different fortune this midweek in EPL, in Champions League, traveling away. Both of them traveled away this midweek, and the City managed to get a win at Leipzig. Arsenal lost, of course, no longer news, at the RC Lens Stadium in France. Arsenal, on top of that, Bukayo Saka is a doubt for the game on Sunday. Obviously, City are going to miss Rodri on Sunday. The two games he has not played back-to-back, City lost for the first time. I can't remember in how many seasons. Bernardo Silva just came back from injury, had about 65 minutes in the game today. Probably will be available for selection on Sunday against Arsenal. Defensively, Arsenal was careless on Tuesday, and they cannot afford to do that against City. And Thomas Partey miraculously appeared in training this week on Monday for Arsenal. Probably he might be in contention for selection on Sunday as well. So give and take is trying to balance itself out in terms of availability of players and the squad selection possibilities for both sides. This one is evenly poised, and Arsenal last season, couldn't manage to get any points from City, but if you watch the games, they give a good account of themselves. These two teams met in the Charity Shield at the beginning of the season. We know the result. It was 1-1, and Arsenal won on penalties. So I don't think it's going to be easy for anyone to call, except you're not being objective. So let's look at this game. Bados, I see you there. Once you hear us now, all your antenna is up. Let's see what your satellite is telling you.
Man, are we going to argue, talk about this one? There's no way Arsenal going to win if you don't have Saka and Martinelli. Who's going to play the game? Having said that, it's going to be on paper. It's always City. But if Arsenal, if they want to win that game without Saka and Martinelli, they have to bring their A game. They can do it. They're playing at home. They can do it, but they have to be. They have to play as a unit. They have to play as a unit. What do I mean by that? If you are defending, you got to defend as a unit. When you are in possession of the ball, then you have to support your attack. but don't get carried away, because I think they have Grealish, they have Silva, like you said, and Doku. So when you push White out there, you have to be ready for for a counter attack out there. So I hope Arsenal can do it, but it's not looking likely for me. I don't think without Saka and Mataleli, because with Saka, when you have Saka, what he does is he bring, they double team him, and then have 2 or 3 players coming for him, and then opens up for Odegaard and other people to score. And when you don't have him, I don't know who's going to play there. You're going to play Havertz there, or you're going to play Nelson,
Fabio
Vieira. So it's up to Mikel Arteta, but I hope they can show up. But I don't want it to be an embarrassing game, like being like a 3-0 or 4-0 game. I want to see a game where Arsenal will come up and show that they should have won the league last season. You have to show it now that with Declan Rice and Saliba fit, you have to show what you got and see. Let viewers know that last season you should have won the championship. But I think City has the upper hand here.
Yeah, Ugum, let me touch base with you there right quick. One thing I have found, I don't know if you agree with me, is like City as a team, their defenders don't like to defend in isolation. I don't think they have the ability to be good one-on-one. So to get a result out of City, you have to find a way to isolate their defenders. And again, like what was mentioned right there, you have Rice, and if you have Partey available, for me, I don't want to see Kai Havertz in the midfield. I would love Partey and Declan Rice to probably play as double pivot and allow Odegaard some freedom to concentrate on doing damage going forward. If at all Kai Havertz has to play, probably might play as false 9 and play Gabriel Jesus from the wing. Since Saka is not playing, because you need somebody on the wings that can hold onto the ball and drag players towards you. And Reece Nelson has not shown that he has maturity to do that. Fabio Vieira is a player that has knack to pick out passes, but I don't think he has the ability and the strength to shrug off players. So how do you think Arsenal can get something out of this game on Sunday against City? Is that for me? Yeah, pause. No.
Brothers, I appreciate your commentary. Your submission was quite objective. It's good to see that you didn't go the usual Chelsea fans route of making everything about banter. So it's going to be a difficult game. I think the only way Arsenal can win this game is to get ready to suffer. Let them enjoy suffering in the sense that everybody has to be switched on. Not having Saka and Martinelli are a major problem for Arsenal, because if we're going to soak in what these guys are, they will give them possession, allow City do their thing, but when you hit them hard. That's the best way to beat City. And what you're saying is right. Be able to isolate their defenders. The only way to isolate them is to hit them on the counter and not allow them time to recover in batches like they do. City is a very, very hardworking team. I noticed this thing in preseason. I noticed this thing again last year. There's a reason these guys won the treble last season. They are committed to every man in defending their goal. The way that these guys get in when shots are coming at them in the 18-yard box, the way they put their bodies on the line, it's not typical for a team that has so much flair and has so many technicians. Yet they are prepared to work, do whatever it needs to get a win. And so Arsenal has to approach this game with that mindset of, hey, whatever it needs to be done, let's suffer, let's soak in, let's cover all the channels that they pass the balls through. And then when we hit them, we have to be clinical. So really, I agree with you. Kai Havertz, I've seen good things from Kai Havertz in terms of stability of our game, in terms of hard work.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Havertz works
he's
extremely hard.
improving. Yeah, he's
Yes,
getting better,
he
but
works
not there
extremely
yet.
hard. So I've seen it's a switch to a certain extent in his attitude or in his approach in terms of laying his body on the line,
Application, yeah.
tackling. Even thank you, application is the word. Even against Lens, this game that we lost, he really applied himself, especially in the first half. You know, being there, getting in there, and all that. But yes, when it comes to that transition, when it comes to being decisive, that's where he's lacking
And his
presently.
confidence,
Slightly.
yeah, because he's not confident yet to take risk.
Yes. So playing him in the midfield, that's where it could go either way. I mean, he puts in quite a graft in the midfield. So he is the kind of person that can actually help us contain City because he works hard, he marks hard, but then in transitions, that's where we'll have problems because he doesn't quite move the ball the way that we would like it moved. Then I also support the idea of playing him as a false nine because of his height. My only problem is when he gets that chance. We're not going to get too many chances against City. Probably one or two or three. When we get those chances, we need to use them. We need to put them away. Otherwise, we'll be in trouble. So his reliability in terms of being clinical in the opposition's half is in question, big time question. So rather, I'm even more convinced that he will put in more work in the midfield than he will be able to score goals. Because right now, his confidence in front of goal is.
Yeah, but the question is, if you play him in the midfield, what happens to Partey and Declan Rice? Because I know Partey is important. Because what's going to happen? Okay, Pusha, let me ask you. Let me go to you because they're not going to have Rodri in this game. And I think what Pep has been doing in his absence is try to overload the opposition by playing Julian Alvarez, Foden, or Doku, all these guys to put the opponent on that pressure, not to have a lot of time attacking City. So, and for that, if they come that way, that's why I'm saying, hey, Partey and Declan Rice to contend these guys, and then release the guys up front. They will have some joy to do some damage against City. How do you think the loss of, though we're talking about Arsenal losing Saka and Martinelli, how do you think Rodri is going to be missed in this game, and how should Arsenal approach the game to get joy out of that loss of Rodri? Because Ugun was talking a few seconds ago about how City players put their body on the line to block shot, but if you go and check, I'm sure Rodri takes a large chunk of those blocks and those defenders and putting body on the line. So not having him there, for me, is a very huge loss for a big game like this. How should Arsenal approach the game to, utilize the advantage of not having Rodri?
I think Arsenal is a team, very good team, but we like to work hard unnecessarily. And what I mean by work hard unnecessarily is we don't put the game away soon enough. And that's our reason that leads to us working so hard to end the game and guys getting injured and making that extra push that twist the leg and stuff. Mm-hmm. When it comes to Manchester City, like my other friend mentioned earlier, you cannot miss any chances against City because they are not going to miss their chance. Look at that game that we lost against Tottenham Spurs, right? Those goals that they scored are 2 mistakes and they punished us. They didn't. If they had missed it, we won the game. But Arsenal, we are used to missing those chances. Gabriel Jesus missed one very obvious one.
2 times last season.
Against City too.
Arsenal had chances in the first half to bury the game. They didn't intensity came back and
now they came and beat us. Then they scored another last goal to make it 3-1 towards the end of the game. And I think what we need to do differently is take our chances and score. But sadly, who is that guy that can give us these chances? Bukayo. Is that guy that can put the game away. Look at the goal that we scored. The first goal against us score against Lens. He got the ball, gave right back to Gabriel. It's a lot of, even though Gabriel Jesus scored, he had the ball going to him on time. He had more than enough time to do what he has to do. That's a lot of talent with this guy. And I think we need someone to play that role very well because 2 things. you have to play in City's box. You cannot sit back and play against City, and we can easily give up goals.
Yeah, but
right?
let me ask you. I know the qualities of Saka. I know what Saka brings to the game, but let's not forget in the persons like Trossard. Trossard is one player that doesn't mess around with chances. We know what he did in Brighton before he came to Arsenal. Came to Arsenal last season as well. Talking about creating chances, he had 7 or 8 assists in half season last season for Arsenal. Scored 2 or 3 goals.
Yeah.
He already has had chances. And this player we're not mentioning, Fabio Vieira, is a player that, like what you're talking about, has eye for pass and can also shoot from outside the box. So, what those were talking earlier on about Teta not being able to utilize his squad. This is the time now. It's one thing to say play these players, but it's one thing for this player to deliver when they have the chance. Another player I want to mention is Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe, like I was telling you earlier, he came into our game, and in 10 minutes of being in that game, he had about 3 or 4 shots on target. I was telling somebody today, the reason why he does that is the way he receives the ball. He receives the ball in a situation where he doesn't have to make any touches before he takes a shot. So when you have players like this in your squad, we can be talking about Saka, I'm talking about Martinelli. Smith Rowe, when he was firing, even as a sub, got 11 goals in that season, and he missed almost half of the season. So there are tools in that squad that can hurt City. I think for me, the main issue is Arsenal defensively. Like we said, City are not going to miss their own chances. So when Arsenal press on, like Bado mentioned earlier on, when you send Ben White up there, Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, maybe Partey or Declan Rice, over is playing 6, have to be switched on defensively, regardless of if the ball is in the City's half. That's how they've beat Arsenal most the last 2-3 meetings. They soak up the pressure, allow us to come at them. Once they win the ball, they launch it, and before you know it, that's how I feel about the game.
I agree with you. That actually, I want Arsenal to win because I just don't bet against my team, right? I think Arsenal is going to win it, but here's what we need to do, because if we play very well when we are fluid. When we are fluid means we have possession. Now, but one thing that is very, very constant, every time Bukayo leaves the game, we lose that possession. So we need someone else to be able to recreate and say, help us keep the ball up front. We keep the ball up front. Gabriel Jesus is going to be a revenge match for him playing against his whole team. So I expect him to get some chances and score and put it away. One thing that we know about Saka has played a very high-level football, top level. He's played against most of these guys in the backline of Manchester City, either with them or against them. So he knows them very well. When you know a guy, if I play with you every Sunday and I know you very well, I already know what side I'm going, what side I'm not going. That's one thing that Saka will bring, that experience of playing on the same team with those guys. You understand what I'm saying? Saka know that if you go left to Akonji's side like 20 times a game, maybe 80% chance you go through. He'll keep going there. Now, Vieira, those guys have to figure those things out. But I know Manchester City. See, the last game, 4-1, they beat us. The game before that, 3-1, they beat us.
Yeah,
before that, 2-1. 5-0, they beat us.
So, you see, every game is different. Don't worry about the past. Every game is different in EPL. If you play that game 10 times, it's not going to end the same way. Exactly. I think the thing, I can tell you what I think I will do on Sunday. Sunday. So he's going to play Havertz as a first night, like Reggie said, and then
No.
Let me tell you.
give me SR or someone else.
Look, I can give you the 11 here right now. He's going to play Havertz as a first night. He played it for Chelsea. And he's going to play Jesus on where Saka plays on the right side, and then Trossard on the other left side. And then in the middle, the 10th position, Odegaard is there. So he's going to play the double pivot, which is Rice and Partey. I don't know how fit Partey is to play.
But Kai will now score as the first night.
You never know. But you never know. Don't count him out.
I mean, this is a big game. I don't think Nketiah will be, playing Nketiah 9 and play 0. So, but he'll be on the bench. Nkita will be on the bench and watch the game. And then you have Zichenko on the left, and then Saliba and the Gabriel. That's your team right there. If you guys gonna beat Manchester City, you just have to play that.
I give my top three, front three. I think he's gonna play Vieira, Trossard, and Jesus in the middle.
Vieira will not start.
Vieira plays Saka's role. Vieira is
a-
not coming in for Saka now. Patrick Vieira.
It's a big game for Vieira, man.
Well, yeah, it's going to be difficult. Well,
Yeah, but Vieira is actually good. He's actually good.
I've mentioned him a few times, but starting him in that game is going to give City some physical advantage, and it's not going to be good. He can come in as a sub. For me, I think the best way to play this game is to play Kai Havertz as a first nine.
You too.
Yeah, I already said it.
Yeah, but I mean,
play Odegaard, Declan Rice, and Partey. But what happens is that when you play him as a first nine, he can drop into the midfield as well, and Jesus can use that space and attack. So there are different ways to. Like I say, City players don't like to be isolated. They don't like people who have confidence with them. They can't defend one-on-one, most of them, most of the time. Even recently, if you go and watch their games, even today, Akanji is struggling. Hello, this is not the same Akanji we saw last season. So you need to give them players who have confidence on the board. Trossard is another one of them, that you want to be on the pitch, because if he gets a chance, he will take a shot. If ESR was fully fit, maybe, but I know he's going to come in as well. So pans out. Let's go on with the prediction for.
I don't want Arsenal to lose that game, because if they lose, City will be up there.
Yeah, the season is gone.
I want to get like a tie.
And we don't know. We don't know what Liverpool is going to do with Brighton. If Liverpool and Brighton draw, Arsenal lose to City. City is running away.
City is gone.
So something has to happen this season.
I mean,
so let's go with the predictions.
I don't want them to lose.
Let's go with the predictions. Bados, let me start with you. Brighton at home to Liverpool.
That's a 2-0 for me, man. So that's no.
Who is winning? Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool will win 2-0.
Okay. Odo.
I would say Liverpool 3-2.
For sure, it's your turn.
This is a very, very tough one, man. Very, very tough one. Sadly, I have to go with Brighton here. I want to go with the underdog. I'll say Brighton win 2-1.
Yeah, that's my score as well. Brighton win 2-1. West Ham at home to Newcastle. What does give us your prediction?
That's a tie game, right there. It's a tie. I don't know. It's gonna be a scoring tie, or is it? I'll go like 1-1 or 0-0. Well, 1-1. It's gonna be a tie.
I'll do
1-0 West Ham.
For sure.
Hey, for West Ham, Newcastle, I'm picking Newcastle to win this game. Isaac is gonna score. Miguel might try to score. I don't know. I would say 3-1 Newcastle.
Okay, I will go for a 2-1 West Ham. Arsenal at home to City. Bados.
In as much as I don't want them to lose, but they're gonna lose it. That's what they do, man. That's what Arsenal does. I think it's going to be 2-1 City win, 2-1.
I'll call it a 2-1 Arsenal win. I mean, I never get behind Arsenal playing against City, because we always lose to City, but I think it will change this weekend.
What's your prediction?
Like you and I agree, Reggie. There's no better time to beat Man City than this season. It's gonna happen this year. It's about time we beat Manchester City. I will say 3-1 Arsenal.
Why are you stealing my scores, bro? I have it for 3-1 as well.
Oh, really? Let's somebody comes through, man.
Yeah, Wolves are home to Aston Villa.
Wow. Wolves, they've been playing good lately, man. So it's going to be a tough one against Aston Villa. Aston Villa is not good away from home. So I'll give it to Wolves, a 1-0 win. Wolves, 1-0 win. They've been playing good lately.
For sure. No, the Wolves are home to Aston.
I'll call this a 2-2 draw.
Okay. For sure.
Aston Villa, good evening, everybody. I'm picking Aston Villa to beat this game. They're gonna. I think Wolves have that rush of good, and eventually
don't
best
call Maris. Okay, I already said 2-1, so they not be as if I'm
okay. Already said 2-1. Okay, I'm not gonna give it.
Aston Villa will win 2-1. That's my prediction.
Okay, no problem. Okay, I'm going with 3-0 Aston Villa.
Okay. Then the last game for us to predict the. Okay, we're going to put Chelsea there because what does he say? The last game was United are home to Brentford. Bados.
United win. It's a 2-0 for me. United win at home.
Hold on.
United Brentford.
Yes.
Right?
I'll call it a 2-1 win for United.
Yeah, United is playing home. 2-1.
2-1.
Okay. For sure.
Brentford, man. I don't want to be the guy to do it. Brentford will win, I'll say. Because Onana, they're going to score on Onana, man. The guy can keep a clean sheet. So with that said, I'll say Brentford win 2-1. Brentford.
Okay.
At United.
I'll call this one 2-2.
2-2.
The Burnley are home to Chelsea. Two teams that have managed to grab 3 points last weekend.
Well, what do you mean? Chelsea, I mean, with our clean sheet, we've been doing well.
What's your prediction, bro?
We had a lot of clean sheets, man. Well, it's going to be a win for me from Chelsea because I'm a Chelsea fan. So I'll call it for Chelsea. They've been playing well. I like what they did against Fulham. I would say it's going to be a 3-0 Chelsea win.
Okay. Adu.
I'll call this a 2-2 draw.
Okay. We sure. Burnley at home to Chelsea.
I mean, a relegation zone team is easy. I mean, not easy to win, but I think this should be an easy one for $1 billion team. I'm putting my support behind $1 billion team. Chelsea to beat them. I mean, you can't spend with one. I can't go wrong with that one. Chelsea to beat Burnley, I would say 3-1.
3-1. Yeah, I tend to believe that Chelsea should wrap up this one because Burnley is a little bit, they're not being conservative in the EPL. They think EPL is a championship. They just come all guns blazing, more so playing at home. I'm sure they're going to, Vincent Kompany is stubborn about the way he wants his philosophy. He doesn't care who he's playing against or what's going on. He just plays the same way. And they're not clinical in front of good. They're just like Wolves. They make all the play. When it gets to the final third, they find it difficult to. In fact, I think they scored their first goal of the season last weekend after 7 games. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how they're going to manage to do this against Chelsea. I believe Chelsea will run away with this one, maybe 2-1. Okay, viewers, thank you for staying with us. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. If you have not done so, if you have been forgetting, enjoying, and having fun with us, don't forget to subscribe. We're on our way to the 5,000 subscribers at the end of this month. You guys are doing good. We're happy. The channel is moving. Thank you for all your support. We appreciate you. Don't forget to like this video and share with your contacts. Guys, thank you for coming to the show. Funsho, always reliable, even on short notice. You show up. My partner in crime, always there. But those, I know you couldn't wait to show on this channel today because Chelsea has grabbed the 3 points and we're looking forward to another one. And we hope to
guess,
see
guess what, man?
win or lose next week. We hope to see.
Guess what? Guess what? Before you go, guess what? If Chelsea win against Burnley, which they are going to win, they'll have 11 points. Arsenal will lose against City, they have 17, right? They're still on 17. Our next game after the break is, guess who? Arsenal. And we'll beat them, well, that's 14 points. So all these noise, we'll be able to douse the noise a little bit, man.
We'll see, man.
You see how that goes? So it's not about how you start, it's how you're going to end this season. That's what matters, man. But I think, you know, Chelsea, they started to pick it up.
Please,
why it matters.
Please, you need to make sure next week, win or lose, you're on this show. I don't want to hear you're busy or you're wanting your work. You call you have to call in for this show next week. If you have it on Thursday, I want you to be on this show next week, Thursday.
No. Do it on a Wednesday or Saturday. I told you that, man. I want to be here. I tell us now, fans, they're not going to make tough work. I'll be saying that.
For sure, I don't know if you have watched that episode. This guy said Chelsea will win the league this season. He called it at the beginning of the season.
Right.
I asked Chelsea fans to bet on it.
The same, you know, those poor people, they just lost their money.
This guy said it with his chest out. No, it wasn't missing one. It wasn't playing. So let me ask you: is Chelsea still going to win the league?
The what?
Is Chelsea still going to win the league?
I mean, we win the league if hold on. If referees stop giving some stupid red cards, you know. This will not win.
Okay. Now it's conditional. You know, the last time I asked.
No. But what I'm saying, let everything be. You know, let it be fair to all the teams.
No, what I'm saying, the last time I asked you that question, you didn't have all this.
I'm still backing on that. 100%. Chelsea will win the league.
Okay.
And Arsenal will not make up.
Yeah. This guy ready to go on bet with you if you want. The Arsenal will not make tough for that. Chelsea will finish above Arsenal.
I am, man. I am. I'm telling you that.
We'll watch this video again at the end of the season.
Yeah, of course. It's going to be there. They're not going to delete it. Thank you for Google. Okay, guys. Thank you. Have a good night. And
all right, thanks, guys. You guys have a wonderful day.
Good to see you guys, and thanks for coming on the show. Thanks,
all right, guys.
and
Reggie, everybody else.
And peace out, guys.